what is the tau, which is the 24-hour rhythm? Did that change? When did onset happen? What was the peak? It measures all that stuff. It fits a curve, and so it's the cosinus fit, and it might be in Prism, but there's a formula in that paper. It's on my website. It's the one with Melissa St. Hilaire. It's the one. It's in the metabolic rhythms. It's the bio. It's I can't remember when we published it. It was probably like in 2020. But anyway, there's a formula where they show how they fit those curves. But then we also can start looking at saliva papers and like that, because we have to. So we're gonna, like I said, people are gonna have issue with our saliva sampling because A, we didn't do it for 48 hours. B, it wasn't under controlled lighting, so we're trying to control for that as much as possible. And B or C, it's saliva. And a lot of people think that you can't get circadian rhythms off of saliva. That is a limitation to the study. We did the best we could because it was COVID. So we just have to work with that, and we're going to own it, and we're going to say it right off the bat. But it doesn't mean the data isn't any less significant. So that's most important. So we'll work through all that too. So, and then the third thing I thought we would do is, and I don't know how good you guys are with Qualtrics, is I'm always scared to work with that. I don't know why. The Qualtrics guy is always like, rest assured, all your data is always saved under the Qualtrics website. But I'm like, oh my gosh. So under Qualtrics, we can stop those muscle time ones, and then you can start downloading all that data.
That's already done. Like, I downloaded the muscle time data, and I kind of looked into their website. So they do give us few analyses, but they give a very detailed analysis. And I looked into the previous clinical trials that you published. We don't need that detailed analysis. That's what my understanding is. Like, they will give you how many people answered this much for these specific questions. I can show you, like, at the end of.
Well, we have to think about that, because you know how that data dictionary. So if that's an option, and again, I don't know, but we might want to know, was there anything specific in the wellness that people had a tendency to improve more on? Because remember, you're measuring a health-related quality of life. You're measuring stress, anxiety, and depression status, right? But that's not like a one-size-fits-all. There's different types of anxiety, right? There's situational anxiety, generalized anxiety. It would be interesting to know, and I'm just throwing this out there. You guys got lots of time to analyze this data. But it might be interesting to see, was there something specific within any of those questionnaires that improved? That's where I think that detailed analysis can help. But for now, what you both have to figure out, on each of those questionnaires, there's a way to score the data.
Yeah.
And the lower the value is improvement for most of them. I didn't check the health-related quality of life. That has to be done differently. But there is a specific way you score the information. And then you would represent that as, I would initially start out as, you could do it in a table. If you think it's easier to show it as bar graphs, I don't know, I think we did it as a table. I think we actually did it first as like a line graph.
Yeah.
We did measures.
In Mox paper, I forgot, there was this very nice table where you presented all the data, baseline, unstratified, and then stratified based on placebo and MSDK. Yeah, it was the Mox paper. And I kind of did the data analysis for STA and PSS in Excel sheet, how to analyze. Like, I scored them, I haven't gotten into the rest of the two. The CSDI, it seemed a bit confusing for me. Like they are talking about factors, like four questions have this much factors value and all that. So I haven't gotten into that yet.
Yeah.
The easier ones are done, like the PSS and SCAI. Those two are done.
And because when we did the menopause, and that was the menopause quality of life, there were domains.
Yeah.
And every domain, one was like vasomotor domain, one was sexual domain, one was social domain, one was physical domain. Out of the four domains, the only one that melatonin showed an effect on was physical domain. But then within the physical domain, there were like 13 attributes. Bloating, fatigue, anxiety, all these different things, breast tenderness. And then, so what helped with those daily diary logs is we were able to hone in on, out of the 13, there were like 4 of those where that's where the melatonin primarily affected, which is more like mood, good feelings, stuff like that. So that's the stuff over time that I'm going to have you guys start downloading. But since you've already done it, that's good, and we can start working through that data as you analyze it and move through it.
Yeah. Right now, I'm just trying to do that and also making the baseline data table. When I looked through the previous studies, there is a baseline data like the age, male female ratio, and all that. So yeah, that has been going on for past few days.
Yeah, and you keep adding to them. So you just do, what did our cohort look like in general when everyone's just put together? How many, and then, so write this down and remind me. I gotta go through the Pit Plus Me portal and give you all the ethnicities.
Okay.
So I need you to send me do I have the final names? But you gotta do it secretively. I want to do it with you when I'm in the lab. I don't want you to send names throughout anything.
Okay.
But I'm gonna, when we go through the names of the people that actually were in the study, are you just reporting, are we gonna just show everybody that was randomized, including dropout? Or are we gonna show just the stuff that we have to figure out, like, of the people we're analyzing, do we just, because you know how we're like doing subsets for the saliva and then everything else, we have to figure out of who are we keeping for the analysis. We have to include them in the combined cohort.
For the baseline, I was thinking we can take everyone's data because it's a baseline data reporting. And for the analysis, right now I'm just only doing the participants who completed 6 months for the qualtrics analysis. I'm not taking the participants who dropped out. So yeah.
Yeah, we should go into the MOTS and see how we did that. Every study's a little bit different, just because in each study, in the previous studies, we analyzed everything.
Yeah.
In this study, we're analyzing subgroups, and we're only doing it because we have to base it on compliance and also other factors. Because I don't want to, and I'm not, and we got to be careful, like we're not throwing out data to make our stuff look better. We just have to have a rationale where we don't use data that is meaningless and it could ruin our other values. So it's like, I always want to keep as much as we can, of course, but I don't want to keep crappy data because it'll ruin everything. So just so far, just analyze everything, and then you can slowly pull data out of that. We can discuss it when we have more time, but make a note that check what we did for the MOTS data, but I'm pretty sure we showed the flow diagram of everybody. You already have that done. And then I think we just showed the people that we kept in the study.
Wait, I have the MOTS paper open.
It would be 10 and 10. It'd be 20 people total.
So for the first table, the baseline characteristics, there was unstratified data and then stratified, where you...
What was unstratified? What was that?
Unstratified was placebo and MSDK combined, and that was, I think, 22 people.
Okay, so we kept in the 2 people that, because we ended up with 10 and 10. So with the baseline, I would do everybody we randomized, and then, well, but we see, and that's another thing, because then they want to know, well, why did you, what happened with those two? And I remember, like, if I'm remembering this correctly, somebody just dropped out before we even were able to, like, start anything. So we actually had to specifically point out that. So just both of you read those papers, and we have to figure out how we're gonna do that, because we do have that intent to treat principle. And again, you use data up until what they drop out, but if they're, our issue was that some people weren't even exercising at all. And we were catching that, you know, before we were doing the saliva samples.
Yeah.
All right, so you work on that, and then slowly we'll just keep having these meetings and follow up with that. But what's pressing right now for me is I want to get those saliva samples analyzed. So I made Oksana a co-host, and Young, I'll make you a co-host. Did both of you have a chance to look through my final list? I know, Young, you did, and you said everything looked good, right? And then there was that, I think it was 046 that I followed up with you on that one. Sorry, my nose was running for some reason. I'm not sick though. There was so much going on before I was going on that trip. Just seeing everything I was doing, I was like, it was crazy. What else is new? Are you gonna someone gonna share their screen so I can see the final thing?
I can. I'm not sure if I have the final ones.
Young, do you have the last one, and then you said everything looks good? I just checked my email. Let me see.
Give me a second.
I was just going through a gazillion emails this morning, and I saw that the one, I just had to do a clarifying question for you. Like, it was, why did you exclude the one? Let's see.
So the final version is the December 21st.
Okay, let me quickly see what and Afsana, did you respond to that email? I think you were doing other things, but
You asked me like why 11 was excluded. So I looked into the notes that I took the last day you were here. So 11, 15, 35, 46, and 60. So, well, like we decided we won't take these 5 participants' data. But then again, after your email, I analyzed everyone's data, I added everyone's data. So everything is there in the final file.
okay. So Young, I have your email, and it says everything that I said. Okay, thanks for this. I said hi Afsana, I looked at the Salametrics report, and we can analyze some samples but not others. I made the changes on the attached spreadsheet you sent me, and then I sent that to you guys at 3:41 p.m. on December 21st. And then I said, because there were sections that we were completely deleting when we needed to include them, and then sections we were including that we needed to delete. And I said, wherever there is an NSQ, these were the participants targeted. If the NSQ occurred at a baseline sampling, we had to eliminate that entire participant because we had no way of comparing it to anything. But if it compared to one of the sampling times, 3 or 6 months, we can still use the other time point that was complete. And then I said, here were the participants in the collections that are not to be analyzed. And I gave you a list.
Yes.
ID 09, 10.
Yes.
I said 9, 6 month only, 10, 3 month only, 11, 3 month only, 15's out, 33, 6 month only, 35, all is out, 44 eliminated, 46 eliminated, 55, 3 month only, 60, 6 month only. I said, please make sure I have this correct. My eyes are tired. I need a vacation. Yep, said, everything's good, and all you had were issues with ID 046, and I
Yes.
said all, and you said 3 and 6 months,
Was
And then young, I said I wasn't clear on that. I said, if you look on the notes, there are no more samples for two of the collections, one in 3 months and one in 6 months, and so we won't get complete
exactly.
profile. Is this what you meant? And you said, yes, since we have sample from baseline.
Yes, yes.
So I think that's where we're at here. Okay, so let me look at the roster. And I think this one is now labeled would Enderby. Let's see. I'm opening it up. Let's see what I got here. Final report. My computer's sort of acting a little strange. Okay, this one is not registering. Sample roster template. Let's see. Oh, I just reconnected the old one here. Okay. So then I do have the groups. Okay. Let me just read. Do you guys have that? It's
Yes.
from December 21st at 3 p.m. Can one of you open your thing up? Because I have a gazillion files open. So open up the one where I have the X's in red, and then I have the notes in red, and then the X's in blue. Or I want to just quickly show the ones because I want to send this and upload this report and get this analysis going.
So I shared the Excel.
Right. Okay, so scroll all the way to the top.
Yep.
To the very top so we can see everything. Okay, so I just want to see if we have everything labeled at the very top. Show my name and everything. So it's the date. So the 4th, I was going to upload this, my name, my ID, MTS. They said test to be, this is when I was talking to the woman on the phone. She said put cortisol and testosterone. She said put that note that analyze one of each and do everything in duplicate if possible. I said if you don't have enough sample, do one of each. Okay. Then, and we have to put X's next to every test. They insist on that. So it looks like so far ID 3 is good, so you can scroll all that down. And then ID 5 is good. Now here's the one where I thought that ID 9, we can still analyze the 3 month. We're just not going to analyze the 6 month. That's what this means. Okay. That's why I don't have X's next to them. Then scroll down to 10. 10, we got baseline.
Yes.
And but we're not analyzing 3 month, but we're going to analyze 6 months. Okay, now go to 11. We have all the baseline. We're not analyzing 3 month, but we'll analyze the 6 month.
Yes.
15 looks like it's completely out.
Yes.
26 is all good.
Yes.
31 is all good.
Yes.
33 is all good. Is it? No. 33 6 month we're not analyzing.
Yes.
35 is all out. 36 is all good. 40 looks like it's all good.
Yes.
42 is all good.
48.
Then 44 is out.
Also here, so 40 has like a baseline in 3 months, and there is 48.
48 is 6 months for ID 40.
Okay. And then,
We might, yeah, so make sure we just put that, I'll just tell them, I don't want to put an extra note in there, but as long as we know that. Okay, so 42 is good.
Yep.
44 is out.
Yes.
46 is all out.
Yes.
And then that's all good. 49 is all good. 52 is all good. 55, we're just not analyzing 3 months.
Yes.
Then 60, this is the one I thought is fine. Keep going through 60. We'll analyze baseline in 3 months, just not the 6 month. So that's the best we can do because, again, we're just trying to get relationships. So this is going to be a really interesting thing where we'll see like what is the relationship of the melatonin profile to cortisol and testosterone. And the reason we're doing this, and you'll learn this in advanced pharm, is that both testosterone and cortisol are on diurnal rhythms where their levels peak at 8 a.m. So while melatonin levels should be the lowest at 8 a.m., these theoretically should be the highest. So it'll be very interesting to see if we see any melatonin change. Was there an associated cortisol testosterone change with exercise? All right, so this is good, and I'm going to send this off.
Yes. When I was analyzing the melatonin data for ID 31 and 40, there was like non-detected amount. Like many time points have non-detected in the sheet. And I know you told us to put a value over there. I didn't do it yet. And then there was value where they have asterisk on top of
Because it was still below the level of sensitivity.
So that's what I was thinking.
Let
Like,
me show you. Go on that sheet again. I'm going to show you where. So in the very first sheet on the first tab, we're going to put all this information in the paper. Sorry about that. I forget. So go in the first tab on the bottom, the very first tab, not the. Oh, you have to go into what they sent us. You have? It's in that email I sent you.
Yes, that's same.
Yeah.
Yes, I can just stop.
So for the analysis, the values that are below the sensitivity limit,
I can't see. Hang on.
Okay.
No, you gotta.
Yes, I'm downloading and opening.
Oh, okay, because you have to actually stop screen share and restart it, if I can see it. Okay.
I can share it because I have it open.
Okay. And then we'll bring up the Prism file so I can show you.
Can you see the screen?
Yep.
Okay. That's the box layout.
Report. Yes.
Yeah, you see the range right there, assay range?
Yes.
That's you. So your level of sensitivity starts at 0.78. So we're going to say that anything less 0.78, anything less than 0.78, that's what we have to assume, right? So on your y-axis, I'll show you how to make that hatch.
Because while I was plotting data for ID 31 and 40, like most of the time points were either ND or QNS, so it was a bit difficult to plot their data. Let me quickly show for this. This is the ID 40. As you can see, the last 3 time points are all non-detected. So
yeah, so those are going to be assigned a value.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to have a less than 0.78 value because we can only say, according to this assay, it could be 0, but it could be also 0.77. 0.7, it could be 0.69. We don't know that. Okay, so we have to put values in for that. So can I show you can you open up your Prism file and we'll just work through one? These are pretty amazing. Isn't that pretty amazing too? Just
look at the 3 a.m. peak.
I know, I'm like, oh, that's nice. All right. I'm just so happy because I've never done one of these before, and just all, the stress of, I don't even know if there's anything to be happy about, but I'm just happy about that.
There is a visible peak, so.
Yes.
Something.
Okay. And what we'll have you do is, again, we'll have to start comparing, like, what is saliva melatonin in relationship to serum levels in relationship to urine levels, because obviously things will be a little bit different in terms of what gets secreted. But so we're going to change in axes. So I don't know if you want to make a new graph, or if you want to, are there values that you could put in here that were less than 0.78 that are not included that you would like to include in this?
So we can do ID 040.
Okay.
This is the one participant who has most of.
Are all those ND?
Yeah, the red cells are all ND.
Okay. All right, so now we want to go into the graph, and you want to go into the y-axis. So up on the top, where it says change, the very top.
Oh, wait. I think I pressed the y-axis.
Yeah. Or you can just go left y-axis. Okay. So you see how it says standard, gaps and directions say standard?
Yes.
So click on, you want to do one segment. So you want to do like the 2 segments, I guess. And now you got to say that what percent's going to be that lower segment. And I would just give it like 10%. So you're going to do the bottom is going to be 10% of the axes. And it's going to go from 0 to 0.78. Or how about 7? Would it be 7, 7? And then we'll make the other one 0.78 and above?
Yeah.
Okay, now go to the segment, the thing that says segment.
Yes.
And then click on top. And now that's going to be 90%. And the minimum's now going to be 0.78. There you go. And now say okay. So now what you're going to do for those values is you're going to put them in as like, you can put them in it because we don't know, put them in as 0.77. Because we're going to make them hover at that lower range because we don't know what the value is.
So it looks like that.
Mm-hmm. And then what we usually do, if you see, I think it was in the Mary Kolarczyk's paper, MOPS, we had a line down there.
Okay.
Or you can hand draw it on the thing. So you can hand draw from the, I mean, I bet you can do that. I know, go on that, change that axis again up on top. You could either do that or so you see that axis because you're going to change the font. Click on the y-axis again. And we're going to give that 10% a label, and you can maybe hand draw it.
Oh God.
So just
No, not that one.
if you go into the no, you want to do the lower one. You just highlight the 0 to 0.7. Go to the left axis. See if we can label that bottom axis. Do the bottom one. See if we can give it a label of less than 0.78 or maybe do at y equals 0.77. See where your cursor is? Say put a text a less than sign 0.78. That's it. Hey, nice. I've never done that before, so that's cool. See, now you have points. So I don't know if they could. I don't know how we can hook that, but you see now it gives robustness because you have data points.
Yeah. This should be joining together. Let me see. I haven't shut down my laptop in last 3 days, so it's been very slow.
Oh, I sometimes have to because I was downloading so many things off of websites.
Yeah, I will try to see if I can connect the dots.
But remember, we're going to be doing code. Let's just see if they have an analysis of cosine or fit.
Okay.
Go into the different types of, go into under analysis and see if you might have to talk to Prism because they're pretty much like they keep improving this. But you might have to figure out a formula to get these things to fit, and we'll figure that out later. But But this is what, so eventually you have these graphs, right? And you need error bars with everything, like standard deviations. And then we're also, remember, going to layer it with the light.
Yeah, and exercise hours. That's also.
Yeah. So there was, and then, so you're gonna have a couple graphs, like you're gonna have this one with the light, so people can, you know how I draw those bars that have filled in and open to show like what is the light part of the day and what's the dark part of the day. We're gonna have to like somehow come up with something where people can see, so we can see what is the cutoff of the light dark cycle. So we're just seeing their rhythms. Can you go to the graphs just so I can show you?
Yeah.
So if you just go to like this graph, so I would like to know, well, when was it light? You know, like, when you work with animals, you know, because you set the light timer from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. So you know very distinctly, lights on are at this time, lights off are at this time. But when you're dealing with humans and you're walking around their house and they have watches, we can actually pick up what the light is. And you have to go back on those forms, and you're going to have to do this for each individual person. And plus, remember, they're changing a little bit over the course. You're going to have to figure out seasonally, where were these people? So like for this one, for group A, ID 040, what we might want to put in that title for now is when did they enter and when did they exit the study? And then we will know, was it a short day or a long day? So we want to do like, 6 months, because then we start to know, like, did people come in when the days were really long and then they moved to days that were very short? And that we have to account for that. But this looks good. Like it's
We can find. Sorry to interrupt. We can find this out from the actogram that we have been downloading.
Yeah. This is where we're starting early. You have a lot of time.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna analyze the heck out of this data because there's so much important stuff. And we're gonna take our time, we're gonna do it well, and we're gonna have to keep looking at it because new questions will come up. But you're for sure seeing, again, if we are making sure that everything else is the same, we may be seeing shifts in things. I don't know. We have to see. But you see here, again, we have to do the cosine wave and everything, but it would be very interesting to see what is shifting. Like I said, our levels going up or down with the groups. Was there more of a rise in certain groups? Was there better peak trough? Was there more like robustness here? Was there a longer duration? When did the melatonin come on according to the light dark cycle on their watch? So just a lot of things that we can look at. Hopefully because we picked people that had less than, like 4 lux, or I can't remember, but whatever that value was, hopefully these are representative of their normal circadian rhythms and not necessarily due to the light.
So I added on the chat box, so I quickly find one of the cosine the fitting. So this is probably this is not exactly the paper.
I can't see it because it's.
Oh, really?
Afsana, you have to.
I opened it. Can you guys see it now?
Oh, I cannot. Did you say it's in the chat?
Yes.
Well, we want to use the one in our. Is this for?
That's not from that author, but
is this from Saliva or just anything?
Let me open. This is the paper, right?
Yes.
Can you see my?
This is, I think, urine. So find saliva.
Okay.
Oh, you got it in Prism? Oh,
So
sweet.
there was 2.5.2 section. There was the equation they used.
Oh, that's nice.
Also, I wanted to ask you about the data. I did not do any graphs analysis. So, do you think it's a good idea to do it with the data?
Oh, not yet.
Okay.
No, because we don't have curves yet, and we need different. We have to do something with these curves, and we have to do a little more reading. I don't want you to waste your time on this right now. We just have to see how people are reporting their saliva data, because all we did was connect dot to dot, and that we need to fit it.
Okay.
So in this paper, why don't you both, and then maybe we can meet up again, go over the paper and see like what did they fit it with, and then they can then do the comparisons of onset peak with when it went down, things like that.
Yes.
And then those values are the ones you start to use to generate your analyses. Okay?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Because right now we don't know if you had, you know how you can do nonlinear regression, sometimes it's fitting the data, it might go a little higher than the dots or a little bit lower. We have to use whatever the fit is.
Okay.
All right, but this looks good. So I'm going to send off that list, start the cortisol and the testosterone sampling. And then you guys start kind of playing around and reading about this and start reading up papers on how they analyze. So, and I'm kind of start with the saliva data using Prism, but also compare it to like the normal other way of analyzing it. But this is looking really good. And then I'm trying to, can you like get out of this screen share really fast? And then what was the last thing we were gonna do? I'm forgetting. Let's see. Oh yeah, you got that list, that thing from Dr. Flaherty, so they're gonna start the lab inspections. All right. All right. So, and then the other thing is because, you know, Dr. Gianfrido is going to be leaving in February, but he's again going to remain on your committees. It might be a good idea for us to kind of do figure out how we're all going to meet with him and what kind of things that we still need to show him and everything.
Okay.
So what are the plans for you two regarding the work now? So remember, Kyle has to do a lot of research this semester because he has to get the credits for it. And so does Michaela. She's not in the program, but she's eager. So what kind of things do you think that you're going to have them work on?
They can work on Western blot if they're comfortable. Like we can go with them for initial 1 or 2 sessions and then monitor them for 1 or 2 more. And we'll always be on the lab when they're here. They can start doing that because we do have a lot of new samples from UPIT and also from other lab.
And also, you saw that I gave you the groups for the melastron. So the thing I want you both to do, though, is do not look up what loading protocol they have, because I want to be able to say that you were blinded to the data. I had to start lumping them, but just don't look at anything. Just kind of keep it as the separate groups, because I want to be as impartial as possible with everything. But we just can't download the Qualtrics data, but we can start, doing that other analysis.
Do you want me to quickly show you guys how Qualtrics is giving us the data?
Yeah.
Let me just share my screen. So this is the raw data that I downloaded. You can download it as numerical values or as choice text. So then this is the completed participants, how to score and all that. So this is PSS and this is SCAI. So I just have to analyze like how many of them went from high anxiety to moderate to no or low anxiety.
Oh, so they gave you that in the call tracks?
No, this based on the Spielberg STAI test.
And you hand wrote all those in based on those numbers?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So 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 many tabs open. Okay, it's the F1. Oops. Let me retry. So this is the latest file. This is STAI for muscle times. So usually for downloading Excel file, we would go to data and analysis, but they have some of their preformed report, result and report, sorry. So this is how they kind of give you an idea. Like for question 2, how many people answered somewhat and what are the age group. So they kind of do this kind of analysis. They also give graphs. Okay, it's taking some time. So male, female, both, mostly they stratify the data as male and female. So this is like how they present the data.
Well, we do these all the time for surveys with faculty stuff, so I'm very familiar with this. What I think is important is get the nuance of the data. If there was some change, so you, again, how many males did we end up having in the study? Was it 2 to 1, female to male?
Would be less. I think we have 23 female and rest was male. We have total 31.
So we got 8 males.
Yeah, around 8 males. Yeah.
No, this is great.
Yeah. So that's what I was thinking. Like they give data in very detail, but I don't think we will be using all of those. Like, okay, how many people answered for question 4 this? So yeah.
Well, you would have to break it up into the groups.
Yeah.
For it to even have any meaning. I mean, this could have meaning if it, because you're going to want to know, did exercise in general change things? And then when you stratify it based on the type of exercise, did the type of exercise then change these parameters? That's where the interesting stuff comes in.
Yeah.
And if so, specifically, did it change one aspect of mental health? So that's where that will take time to do. And I think that'll be kind of fun to sift through that.
Okay.
So you always want to lump together, stratify based on the exercise, and then even further substratify based on males. So you want to kind of keep things together as a cohort.
Mm-hmm.
Exercise A plus B, everybody. Then you want to keep it all as the cohort, but so keep exercise A, B together, but then stratify male, female. So you can get, was there just a difference between males and females in here and how they were assessing their life or feelings? And then you can see, of those that we kept in the study, was there a further change in any of those by exercise? And then by exercise and sex.
Yeah.
So one goes from just like a unpaired t-test to a one-way ANOVA to two-way ANOVA to a three-way ANOVA. And that's going to take you a while because you have to put that data into PRISM very differently in the tables. So I guess what the goal of this semester is you're going to have to manage these two students and use them effectively. And Kyle should get I would have put him on the Mela Ostrong stuff and have him do at least spend a third of his time helping with data analysis.
Okay.
And then the remaining time with Western Blots. And then I would actually, you can have them watch you if you want. When you get good at those ELISAs, so finish up all the urine stuff you have. You'll have just one leftover plate. But I would just start so when you're done with the CTX, I'll get the P1NP plates. And then we'll do the CRP after that. I can buy the test strips if you want. So I'm gonna get those test strips that I had in the protocol. And you're just gonna, what I would do is when you are, maybe the second time you thaw those urines, you're just gonna take a drop and you're gonna drop it on the test strip.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're gonna, I have these metabolic test strips. Do you guys have the IRB protocol in front of you? Because I was thinking of how you guys are able to do this. I probably want to do it in the early stages, so in case something degrades. But just go into the muscle time, and then I had like the test strips.
I don't think I.
Do you have the proposal?
No, I don't have the muscle time proposals. I think I have the Mel Armstrong one.
Let me go.
Let me stop sharing the screen.
Let me just quickly. I'll just bring it up on. Send you guys the link here. I just have so many things open here. And we got the IRB approved for the Sweet Sense to Sweet Dreams.
That's great.
Yeah, so I'm gonna actually, and the people are making the pillows. The thing that I gotta make sure though is when we have, I'm setting up my Appy site, but they can't know what's in the pillows at all. Like they're gonna help. I'm gonna see how far, because my rotation's 6 weeks. It's done right around Young's birthday.
Yeah.
He's a Valentine baby. So you have to tell me what you want, because it's very important to me in my presence. But that's when my site finishes that week. So I'm hoping I have to register the trial. I want to do that with you so you see how I do it. I was gonna send you all the information, all the approvals. And then once we register, I'm going to have them, if you're okay with this, I'm going to have them create the dosha questionnaire, because this one, I have to teach you about the doshas and all the Ayurvedic stuff. But in the proposal, I had references. It was references 10 and 11. So there's a questionnaire that they can fill out that we can determine their dosha. I'm not stratifying based on the dosha, but I'm going to hopefully get somewhere, whatever it says you're a kapha dosha, and then they get the kapha balancing pillow. For some subgroups, we're going to see if the dosha matter with the type of pillow they got. But I'm going to have them make the questionnaires to save you guys on time. And then you guys can check everything, because they're just preparing for that. So that's all good. That was all happening right before I was leaving, of course. What else? That's so crazy. So I'm looking at what muscle time, and I'm looking up the IRB protocol. Yeah, because I was thinking about this when I was looking up the budgets, because I was like trying to think of, I was doing so many things at the same time. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see if I have the budget on here. My computer is like really taking a long, I don't know what it is, but it's taking a very long time. Oh, the other thing, remember, you got to do the Tanita body composition and the calculator. So that's stuff Kyle can do, and the functional analyses, because he already kind of knows about that.
Okay.
Let me see if I have the budget here. Okay. I know I had it on my desktop somewhere. Here, let's see. Okay, so this is a dipstick to measure microalbumin and creatinine, but it also can measure urinary leukocytes, nitrites, pH, protein, glucose, ketones, urobilinogen, bilirubin, specific gravity, and occult blood. So I'm gonna copy this and put it in the chat and we can look at it. Because it was like 137.50 for 100 strips. So I said we need 2 bottles. I thought we needed 2 bottles for assessments, but let me throw this in the chat here. This is what I had in the budget. So everybody open that up.
Yep.
So they're just like test strips, but you're not going to dip it in the urine. You're going to have to just like put some urine on it when you have it thawed for the second time. So under description, like people would just dip it in. How do you do this? This isn't going to be this isn't going to be like quantitative, but I just thought it was going to be interesting to just see. Can one of you bring that up? My computer is not letting, it's being weird. Can you guys bring that up on yours?
Yeah, sure.
My thing is like popping out.
Can you see it?
Yeah. Do they have a description? Like, do you just dip that whole thing in it?
So that's for urinary leukocyte, nitrite, pH, protein, glucose, ketone, urobilinogen, bilirubin, specific gravity, and ocular blood.
Yeah, so you actually have to dip that whole thing in urine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I would do is, you guys have, when you thaw, you have that 1 ml vial, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think that if you because remember you have a ml and you're only using what, 20 microliters? What did you use last time?
50, not 20.
Maybe 100? I don't know. Oh, wait.
You use you use 100 microliters of the urine?
No.
Because I'm trying to think of like, how would you take it? You might just want to take like 10 microliters
So
and just drop it. What?
So the sample was 75 microliter
Yes, sir.
from the
Okay.
1 ml lavender tube.
Because what I'm thinking is, I think you're gonna need that range, even probably less for the other assays.
Yes.
And so for these strips, you're going to have to drop 10 microliters on each of those boxes. And then what you're going to have to do and you're going to have to label the strip when you do it. And then you're going to, I think, what does it change? Like, what do you have to wait a minute for these? And you're going to have to take a picture immediately. And you're going to have to take a picture of the bottle. And then you're going to have to get like a strip where you're going to tape this on and you got to label it. You got to be like, you got to do the baseline 3 months, 6 months. But you got to take a picture of it with your camera and document it because these will change over time. But I still need you to tape them against something labeled, and then you put like a piece of plastic wrap or tape over them. Like you might get a piece of packing tape, and then that's going to go in their part of their. You staple that in their folder. But you're going to have to take a picture and put it in a PowerPoint.
Yep.
But is there any way you can blow up that jar? Like, I'm going to see.
I'm trying, but I think that's like the highest.
Okay, so is the first one? I don't know why this. Let me see.
So if you scroll the
Oh yeah,
picture, you can kind of like zoom in.
yeah. So you can see that everything is measuring something different, right?
Yes.
But as you read across, those are different levels of things. So go to the one that says glucose. Which one on that bottle is glucose? Do they have that? They can't tell if it's.
I can't either. I think it could be that one because the values are like 6.5, 5.5, 7, 7.5. So I'm guessing it could be blood glucose.
Is that top one right there?
The one that starts with being red or orange light. I think it's that.
So like I said, just if you could just take a picture of this bottle. That's why I was looking for like an insert we can download with this from this company's website. But anyway, I think you should do it when you do the second assessment, which would be the P1MP. So you're gonna finish up the CTX. And then when we buy the next round of kits and you start measuring P1MP, for just the muscle time only, don't do it for melostrone because it's not in the protocol.
Yep.
You're just going to have to drop like 10 microliters over each of those boxes. And then, like I said, wait, they probably make you wait a minute, is something like that, 2 minutes. And then you're going to, blot it off because that's going to be gross. And then take your picture, but document that we have the strips, and we gotta seal them in something. I have a seal-a-meal, so, and I can buy seal-a-meal bags. You know what a seal-a-meal is? Did you guys ever use those? They seal a bag together. That's how we used to store our Western blots. That's how we used to run Western blots. We used to put them in a little bag to save on fluid. And then you seal it. I have a thing that you put the baggie in and you just press it and it melts it together. So maybe we can. It's in the lab. It's probably sitting up there. You probably don't even notice it. You just plug it in. It gets warm. But you gotta get special seal-a-meal bags, and I can buy those. But just giving you a heads up that I'm gonna order those, and that's just something that we're just gonna have as an observation. It'd just be interesting to see if someone's metabolic parameters change. I really did it kind of to test the proteins, but I said, what the heck, see what their glucose levels look like, if those have changed. But again, you gotta be careful with that because we didn't control for eating or anything. I did it primarily for the protein levels. But lots to do, but lots of good things. Were you guys okay with the outline and everything looks reasonable? I think that's a reasonable set of goals. And just all I would do is just start being organized and start checking things off as you do them. It's going to be very robotic, but very nice because you're generating data. And then tell me how much you want to participate in the sweet dreams to sweet or sweet sense to sweet dreams. You're going to have to kind of manage that whole clinical trial, but I was trying to have the students do all the hard just stuff that I don't want you guys to devote too much energy to. Are you okay if I have them develop the questionnaires, or would you like to be a part of that?
I would like to
Yeah, they
be
can
part of that.
develop the questionnaire and we can definitely look at it. And if we have anything to add, we would recommend. Yeah, we
Okay.
will do that.
And I'll send you all the approvals and everything. You guys can get started on that. But the thing I want to do with you is I want to work with both of you, showing you how you register the clinical trial. Because that has to be registered before you recruit. And I told the people making the pillows, they have a fabric and it's all like hand dipped turmeric, they're just so beautiful. But they're all the same, and so they're making those up right now. And I told them to stick them in a bag that they label, and then then we have to do the block randomization. Like, you haven't been through all of that with me, and you're gonna like start a clinical trial from scratch. So that's good because you already ran two of them,
Yeah.
but came in the middle of them. But now you're gonna see how to set them up, and then you get the full exposure. And this one's a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But do you guys have any
Really
other?
not easier than muscle and elastic.
I know that was they're all like challenging. I just hope it generates good data.
Yeah.
Did you both have a nice break? Did you get a little rest over break?
Oh yeah. I
Good.
was home and being lazy.
Good.
Yeah.
Watching lots of movies, like you just gotta, I always believe in that. I'm like, we work very hard up until the very end. You just have to give your mind a rest. How did you guys both end up? You did okay in your classes? You don't need to divulge grades, but everything you feel like you learned did well. You happy with how you did?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then you're set up for the next year, so you'll see me with advanced farm. I come in I think I'm in the middle of this one.
So I checked the syllabus. You are at the last. So Dr. Johnson is first.
Dr. May is second.
Yeah, second, and you.
We had to switch the order because Dr. May starts out in phys, and it's just 1 month of straight phys. And then Dr. Johnson kicks in. For me, it's like everything starts for me like right off the bat. So then it starts to just get I just go in and out of a lot of things. Hopefully this will be the last year. We're changing all the curriculum. We're changing the graduate school curriculum, but you guys are in the old one, so you're almost done.
Yep.
We're changing our pharmacy curriculum, went from a 2.4 to 0.6, which means that when students now come in, they don't have to pre-apply at the end of their second year.
Mm-hmm.
And then we move phys down into the second year, and biology professors are teaching that, so none of us are teaching phys. I've been teaching phys for 27 years.
Yeah, Dr. Camilo said something like that during our class. Like, she has been teaching a course for 17 years. She doesn't have to anymore.
Well, now we had to, so we were teaching pathophys. So biology people are only teaching the phys. So we had to pull out the pathophys. And this is when I first came, we had to combine the pathophys with the phys. Now we're pulling it out again. So we have to teach the pathophys, but it's called clinical pathophysiology. So that's going to be taught and paired with a clinical pharmacy professor. So it's like we don't teach the physiology, biology does, and it's their second of 6 years. But then they take this new course we've developed called clinical pathophys, but I don't think I have to teach them that. And then the other new thing after this year, we're not doing any more summer online classes, because there were just 4 professors that were always teaching from January until the end of August. There was a group of us because our courses were always offered in the summer. So this will be the last year of that. So there'll be a lot of changes. I just need to get through this year, but I'm hoping with the fact that I'm not, doing all those clinical trials, I don't see this one being as challenging, and I feel like I can trust you guys more now to run them if I can't be there, because you've already been through everything, so give you a little more autonomy with that, and you'll have recruiting help, and that's always very draining. So we'll see. But the only thing that's going to be different is I don't have Pit Plus Me to help me with the recruiting, and that's what brought in all the.
Yeah, participants, huge amount.
I got to figure out a fancy way of advertising this trial.
Yeah.
But we're baby steps, so there's lots of stuff happened. It's all good. So, but I'm glad you guys had some rest, and just wanted to touch base with both of you. I have some gifts here for you. When I come in,
Thank you.
I'll bring some things in for you.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, the cookies you gave us, those were really good, especially the one with caramel on the top.
I do you like that. That one is like.
That was the last box that I opened, and I'm like, oh my god.
Those were mine. It was like I was at my daughter's. I love those really. Did I give you those really fluffy ones?
Yeah, you have fluffy ones with that regular chocolate chips. That was also good, but the caramels one are like mind blowing, like really, really good.
My
did the
favorite
caramel
was
ones.
fluffy one.
Aren't those good?
Yeah.
And then Hannah, my daughter, made the thumbprints with the jelly.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's really cute. It looks really fancy, I must say. I almost didn't want to eat it. Like, oh, this looks really good.
Those caramels, though, those were gourmet caramels, and I was like pouring them in there, and I go, oh my gosh, you're gonna like be chewing for like 3 minutes.
But it's good caramel. I don't mind chewing, but I warmed it up a bit, so it was even better. Thank you.
I enjoyed those. Well, more treats to come, probably.
Okay.
Gotta keep you guys going. You know, it's like I cannot believe like my niece. I did yoga for the first time today because I have never had anything like that ever happen to me in my life. Where I don't know what I did to my leg, but you know, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going on an airplane. You know, I'm going to be walking. So I was like I was using my brains on how to manage my knee because my whole leg was swollen. My left leg. And I'm like, what the heck is with this knee? And my whole knee was swollen. So that first weekend, as we talked, I did not get off the couch, and I just took ibuprofen every 6 hours because that swelling is what you got to keep down. And then, like, I was like, should I compress it? Should I walk on it? Blah, blah, blah. Started to just kept it compressed, but I'm like, I have to start moving my knee a little bit. Then it started to shrink, but my leg was like double the size. Like you saw how I was walking, and it was hurting off my nerves. It was doing weird things.
Yeah.
And then slowly I was like, I have to keep walking it out. And then finally I was like on the plane, it was still a little swollen, but I slowly was able to start walking more there. And then I started not using the brace, but sometimes I had to go take ibuprofen like once or twice a day. So finally today, yoga, I was like able to like do it, still protecting it. But I'm like, wasn't that weird?
Yeah.
Did you even had a swollen ankle?
My ankle was swollen. My right one.
Yeah, mine was the left. So I don't know, but I'm just glad that we did it. Did all that dirty, smelly stuff, and I feel like we're now moving towards a new year, new results. Nice fresh start to everything. I think you're going to feel mentally better because you're going to see results of your work. The other thing is I got to put together that LNCRNA budget. I'll do that. I told you AFSIF's going to start entering into our lab, and I'll put him on the cancer project since he's so good at that stuff. And we'll follow up with the Tulane group and make sure they're doing what they say, because I really want to get that tumor study going. But lots of stuff in the works, but all going well. So keep focused. We'll have many meetings. I'll be in a lot because I'll be teaching a lot. I'll still be having to run out because I'm watching Remy, but I'm going to just pop in. We'll like we're normally doing.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, you guys have a great day. Nice to see you.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And tell me what you want, Young.
Yes, Young, please.
What do you like? You better tell me now. Do you like fun things like Osama likes? I love that stuff. Do you like experiences? Do you like an experience? Do you like to eat? Do you like something fun? Do you have like little hobbies?
You like visiting museum? Like you
Yeah,
said,
that's what I was
good
gonna say. I go,
museum.
do you like museums?
Yeah, like he kind of gave me a guide about the museums in Pittsburgh. Yeah, I think I'm not sure. I'm not trying to answer for you, but I'm just thinking.
Well, I was thinking the same because you love going to museums. Do you like history? Do you like learning about where you're at? You know, because Pittsburgh's got a lot of history. There's walking tours. There's an architecture tour. But I want to get you something that you would not want to buy yourself. I always feel like that's what a birthday present is like something that you think is very frivolous.
Yep, I'll think about it.
No, you're not waiting because what you're going to do is you're not going to tell me. And it's already January 2nd.
So, so for the museum, I've been most of the museum, Andy Warhol, Carnegie Science. I go there really often, and I've been like Andy Warhol 2 times. I go like every 6 months or every year.
Okay.
I've been the Carnegie, the museum
I ask
twice.
you every time before going somewhere, like, should I visit this place? Is it any good? Like, Young is my local guide here.
That's awesome. Young, do you like art? Do you like artwork from the places you're staying, or do you like plants?
Yes.
Are you like more artistic?
I think so.
Well, I think he appreciates the arts. I'm getting that sense that because there's a lot of beautiful things here. Like, have you ever been to the Laurel Highlands and gone and seen falling water?
So I've been the Laurel Caven and the Ohio Pile,
Did
but
you go
not
see
the falling water yet.
you haven't seen those two, Canuck Knob and is it called Cantuck Knob, I think, or and then also Falling Water, and you need to go on the tour because
Right.
when you go on the tour, especially when the sun is setting, that's how Falling Water was made, with the angles to capture the sun rays coming in. It's beautiful. You can be there during that time. Have you done that?
So, I mean, I was waiting. There is the field trip from school. So
Yeah, during
that was last year, but
beginning of the summer,
yeah, 2 weeks.
the school takes
Yeah,
us there.
that was 2022, but not last year.
Yeah, I was surprised at how beautiful that was. You know, I went to Chichen Itza, and it's amazing how they know their angles and they know their moons and their sun, and they can make things. The winter solstice, they make a thing go down like a snake with the shadow.
Oh,
This is in Chichen Itza. You can do a YouTube video on that. I was there. I didn't see it with the winter solstice, but I was there. And when you go visit those places, like people knowing their angles and knowing the sun and capturing these beautiful shadows and rays, it's gorgeous. All right, well, I got some ideas, so I'll just, because that's what I was thinking you like, so I'm gonna think more about that. And then we'll go out for a nice lunch again, because Valentine's Day is my favorite. I always volunteered as a homeroom mom on Valentine parties. I don't know why. I just like them
that's a lot
because
of
it's
work.
what
That must be a lot of work to manage.
it
a lot
is.
of students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. And I did a bingo game and I did it wrong. I forgot to shuffle the cards and all the kids yelled bingo at the same time. And I'm like,
Oh my
Oh
god.
my God.
I remember my daughter looks at me, she goes, Mom, we forgot to shuffle the numbers because we made a Valentine bingo card. She goes, Mom, we did it. We could tell, like, every kid's like, I got that one, I got that one. And we're like, and then all of a sudden all the kids go, bingo. And I go, you're all winners. That's what kids, that's the thing we always do. Like, you're all winners, whether you lose or win, you're all winners. So that was so funny. But I did volunteer for a lot of those. It was always fun. So I'll figure out something nice for you. All right, you guys have a wonderful day. Nice to see you guys again.
Thank you so much. Have a great
Bye.
one. Bye bye. Now lunchtime.